All right, so I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can make a slab without having a slab roller. So you're going to have your 3 pounds of red clay. You want to make sure that you wedge this, so before you start, you'll want to work that clay up. Now, if you think that this is going to be too big of a piece for you, you could think about it as like dividing it into thirds because it's 3 pounds. So I'm just going to rip off part of it and set my other clay aside, and then I want to wedge this. So that wedging process again helps to remove the air bubbles, and it also helps to align the clay particles. And so after I've wedged this for a little bit, I'm going to just kind of get it into maybe more of a ball or hunk, and then I'm going to start to flatten. So I'm just going to kind of push down with my hand a little bit, and then I'm going to toss it. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to kind of throw it sort of at an angle. And I'm going to do that a couple different times so that it starts to get thinner. So you can see that right now it's fairly thin, so I don't want to go any thinner than that. But I can also tell that there's some areas that maybe are a little bit more raised and some thin areas. So I'm going to grab a couple of tools and show you how we can get rid of those. So I brought back with me this wooden rib. Now normally we wouldn't really use it too much in hand building, but since it has this flat edge, I'm going to go ahead and kind of flatten, and I'm putting some pressure on, and I'm kind of dragging it over that surface, and I'm just rotating to make sure that I can kind of see some thick areas, some thin areas. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. So this is going to help make sure that I have the clay pretty even in thickness, and then it's also going to make sure that if I have any air pockets, those get popped. And then from this base, I could use my fettling knife then and cut out the base shape that I want. I can make it more circular, I can make it more oval, but it's important that you get that thickness as even as you can, and that you remember to check for air pockets, because this piece is a coil piece from last quarter, and unfortunately they had a big giant air pocket in the bottom of their base, and that made the pot explode and break apart. So it's really important that you try to flatten it out, toss it, and then you can use your wooden rib. If you happen to have the metal rib, which is the smooth one, it doesn't have teeth, you can also use that one as well. So either that wooden one or your metal one, and then make sure you do both sides. Now, if I'm going to put my base on my drywall board, I just want to lay a paper towel in between, so the base will stick to that paper towel and not to the drywall. If the paper towel sticks to your clay, it'll burn off in the kiln.